Good afternoon, everybody. I have to say that I am incredibly touched and honored to be able to talk with someone who has become a mentor for me in the last 2 years of working together. Of course, if you work on a ring at all, you are completely immersed in the world of Wagner, and that's already one thing. But to be completely immersed in the world of another great artist like Achim has been an indescribable experience for me. And over the last 2 years, all the conversations that we had about the ring, about theater, have led to incredible new ideas for me that I feel like I could not possibly put into words very easily. However, in half an hour, I think we can probably scratch the surface at some of the ideas that we've talked about. And I very much see this as a way for me to talk to Achim the way that an apprentice would speak to a master craftsman, because that's certainly how I feel. And one of the things that I've always wanted to talk to Achim about is particularly the master that he used to have as an apprentice to Brecht. That's somebody who, for me, was a big influence, and one of the reasons I wanted to go into theater and opera in the first place. And so the ability to work with someone who has had that direct contact with Brecht is one of the indescribable things of working with Achim. But I wanted to start off by asking Achim about Gesamtkunstwerk, the Wagnerian idea of the total work of art, that all arts are sort of subjective to the overall idea of the total work of opera. And I think from an artist's point of view, that Achim's point of view, what Gesamtkunstwerk must mean is something that's been interesting for me to hear about. And I'm curious if we can start there, Achim, with the idea of what Gesamtkunstwerk means to you.
You will speak perfect German. I too, beautiful German. But my English is horrible, and he can help me. But I used to tell it of English. We have not much time. My theater was ever a problem for me. I am a schizophrenic person. I am a painter, and that is another thing as theater. Total other thing. I work alone. I am the own composer and the own poet in the painting. I have nothing help. I do all self. And when I come in the theater, I have Jubal at first, and all the big house of theater, and the singer or actors. And there we have ever the problem. When we are finished with this work, the critic write it is picture theater, what I do. And I am so aggressive against it. I had this picture is a picture and is a standing art. This painting can move. But it is another thing as in theater. We have in theater at first the local art,
the place where it's being performed.
And the time. But why all speak is picture theater? I don't know. We have a screen, we have a stage, and the stage has a portal, and this is a rechteck.
That's the proscenium arch.
And this is in this deep, it has a room, and we want to tell in this room a story with sense, I hope, or nonsense is the same. And when you tell about the room in the three-dimensional, you must tell it from another phenomenon, from two-dimensional. It is the same as a canvas. You have a canvas and you make a line, Matisse make a line, and we feel the white, the same white on the canvas. The right side is dark, and in the middle where is associated a body is lighting, and it's plastic. It's come in the room with one line. That is a beautiful phenomenon for not imitation the word, to find with the other word, the painting or the theater, to tell about the word. And this is a basis for all my work. That the singer, no, I want not go too fast. I want to answer of Gesamtkunstwerk. I have, when I coming in the West, 72, I have heard from multimedia art. It was modern. It was all painting, sculpture, lighting, dancing, spectacle, speaking and singing together in music. And I say that is a conglomerate. It cannot go. For me, it's painting. Painting, theater. Theater has pictures, has voices, has phone, has movement, but it is the characteristic of theater. And it cannot be that music is a conglomerate with painting, and with the painter who need music to paint. Johann Sebastian Bach is in the atelier, in the studio, and he paints pictures. What can, it's not the artist, and then come Bach in this picture, I don't know. Ich war ein Feind.
Yeah, he was an enemy of the Gesamtkunstwerk.
No, not Gesamtkunstwerk, the multimedia.
Oh, multimedia, sorry, yes.
And Gesamtkunstwerk, my master Brecht had it, and I have learned from him to have. And I need long time to feel that Wagner and Brecht, brothers, she has a political position as young man against the society. He has a position against the art in this time. He wants to make new theater. And the friends from Wagner was Bakunin and Karl Marx. From Brecht, you know, it is near nahe Vergangenheit past. We have, oh, I speak English. I am very astonished about this. But Edgar Beitzel was the man that he say, Achim, let the painting last time come to us. We make Gesamtkunstwerk. You can paint. With your painting ideas, you can make this piece. It is one piece. It's 16 hours long, but it is the longest piece for me, what I have done. And I need the longest time for this. 4 years I have worked. That is important, and my colleague cannot do it. He has so much to do in the theater. He think in 2 years I can do it, but he never can do it in 2 years. We have ever the result what you know from the ring in the world. I have never seen the ring. It is a provocation what I say, but I have never understand the story, the sense from the theater, not understand that Wagner is a new time of art. All the contemporary composers learn from Wagner. When I make the opera in Stuttgart, the trilogy from Philip Glass, Einstein on the Beach, and Echnaton, and Satyagraha, I was irritated when Philip say Wagner is a big master for me. And when I work on the ring, I hear Philip in this music. This is true. Wagner is a modern theater man. And when the Aufführung, performances are so old as Wagner, and I have never seen so old theater as from Wagner. Ever the ring is old theater, and the using make it modern is ever an Irrtum.
It's a mistake
to actualize this piece. We say I am Wotan, I am the politiker, I am. It is so small, and the person is not there the figure Wotan is a god. You have seen a god in the world. You have a fantasy about God. And Moses and Aaron is a theme. You cannot make a picture from God. But when you want to show Wotan, what you must do, you must find a timeless word, a figure with all the characteristic of the action what he has and what he speaks, and then you can find a sculpture in movement and a monument, and what you find, I don't know. I have found the Wotan what you can see here, but it is the same theory as Brecht. Wagner wanted. He wants the timeless word and not the actualization of one time. And why? He wanted that you can sitting over and look in the mirror, or the stage is your mirror, and you find yourself in all the figures and say, that is actual, that I am. This figure can be I. And you begin to work with me when you sit in the theater. When I show another person, then all the public say, oh, it is a horrible man. I not. But we are horrible too. And it is our world what we see on the stage. But when I want to show our world, then I cannot do it. You cannot see it. When I make a measure from the world on the stage, the stage is not so big. You must find a parallel of world. The theater is ein Gleichnis der Welt.
It's a representation of the world. It's like the mirror image.
And when you think about this ideas more than you ask, where is the singer, where is the stage designer, what is a figure, what is the color, what is light, what is the movement, how many mistakes has the world, what is, and nicht mistakes, yes, too, but Geheimnisse,
secrets,
miracles,
the secrets of the world, secrets and mysteries of the world.
So, the next ask.
Well, I wanted to follow. At this rate, we'll only get to a few. But but on the topic of Brecht, I did want to ask you, Achim. One of the things that I love the idea that Brecht and Wagner have a brothership. But one of the things that Brecht really disliked about Wagner was his painting of an illusory world. That what you see on stage is a fantasy world, and that's something that he really did not like when he thought about Wagner. And in your theater, there is a lot of illusion, but the illusion always includes the creation of the illusion. We always see the people manipulating the illusion that we understand as an illusion.
You know the Verfremdungseffekt from Brecht?
Alienation effect.
He has the same wish to bring the story in another world, and you can look and can say, oh, that is very equal to my own world. And then the public worked and learned. And Wagner was the same. He has leitmotiv. He has the word leitmotiv, but we say all the leitmotiv. And he tells the story once more and once more. Each person tells what he has done in the act before, in the piece before. Many people not love it and say it is not interesting, ever the same. But what do Wagner do with the leitmotif and with the stories come back once more and ever in the new facet? It is the same what Brecht want. It is not an illusion, it's not a fantasy. It is a story in many views, from right, from left, from upstairs and downstairs, and the time is going, and the story is changing in our mind in this time. It is the intellectual work and not the illusion theater with opium for the people. It is a very strong composition, very strong text. It is so complicated, the German text, that I must look in other books to understand all the sentence what he has speak in the text. And very horrible when you cannot hear it, when the singer and the music is so strong that we cannot following all words. And when we do it in America and never speak German, and no many people speak German, we want to understand it. And the translation is not possible, it's not to do. And it is a own mythologic word from Wagner, own private mythology. It is not the Nordic mythologic, and he has translated. It's not the Nibelungen lied. It is a new work from Wagner, and when you do this piece, you must only do this what Wagner has write and what he has composed. And he has composed very economical, exactly precise scenes, so as Brecht. And Brecht has not understood. I am my teacher, but when the Schüler nicht den Lehrer überwindet, dann ist kein guter Künstler.
Yeah. Well, Achim just said if the student doesn't overcome the teacher, then he's not a very good artist himself.
But I mean only about Wagner. I need so much time. Our time was not for Wagner. When I was young and I have learned by Brecht, Wagner and Bayreuth and all this was a fascist era, and negative ideas coming very big to the public. The positive ideas need much time to come in. When one singer say it is horrible to work in this ring, then the whole world knows it. But when we tell an important idea about the ring, never notice, nimmt es wahr.
Yeah, nobody perceives
so fast. Yeah. That is so is it. That's the life seller.
There's so many other questions I'd love to ask you, but I want to include some of the some anecdotes from our rehearsal process. In particular, in particular, something that I feel that has been exciting about working with Achim and frustrates some people with working with Achim is his love for changing things. He is somebody who, up until the last minute, loves to make adjustments and changes, and I think almost across the board, always improvements. However, it's not how we're used to working in the opera field, and I'll take an example. We have the very end of Götterdämmerung as an incredibly complex technical feat. And the first time we did Götterdämmerung, before we did it for the cycle, we had the chance to do it twice in a row. And the first time we did it, it was a little rocky, but we sort of managed it. The second time we had a chance to do it, and it was secure and went very, very well. Everyone felt comfortable with what they were doing. And suddenly Achim turned around and said, well, this is really boring for me. I know exactly what's going to happen next. So we went about still making adjustments and adjustments and adjustments. And even for the cycle, there are adjustments to that very crazy technical scene. And in every case, we saw it, for me, it felt like working on a sculpture with Achim, in which he just kept whittling away until we finally found the form of this piece. But changes in particular, I'm curious for Achim. It seems like for me, rehearsals with you are a way of exploring material. It's not about repetition, and it's not about trying to perfect, but it's about exploration.
The danger for theater is that it's so good that we have the really on the stage, and then we have not theater. I think the mistake, my master Brecht has said, no, the mistake is beautiful, the other is not good. And this is true for the art. The mistake, when you paint and you see a painting and the arm is longer, you know, Cézanne, the man with a long arm. It's a beautiful work. Why it is a mistake? It is too long, the arm, and this is it in the art. I cannot tell why. When I have a mistake, ich merke es nicht.
Yeah, he doesn't notice it when it's a mistake.
Ich merke nur, wenn es zu gut ist.
He only notices when it's too good.
And then I must kill it. But you will speak so many anecdotes. I must not answer. Please, the next.
Well, there's a lot of anecdotes that came about, I think, through the rehearsal process that I feel like really crystallize the way that Achim views theater. And there's one in particular that I thought was really interesting, which was Siegfried. The character of Siegfried, when he first tastes the blood of Fafnir, he actually touches it in his glove. He has a glove that's red, and so we see the mark of the blood. And then he sees Brunhilde and he turns completely red, but he maintains one blue glove. And I remember when we got to this point, at first he was going to be completely red, but then Achim said, well, actually, you should just have one blue glove. I don't know why. I don't understand why, but I think that would be very surprising. And I loved how, Achim, I love how you brought in the sort of indescribable into a piece, especially a piece like The Ring that is so laden with meaning, has so much meaning and so many complicated ideas in it, that you can leave the room for the indescribable and the unexplainable.
But the blue is the color of Wotan and the idea of God, and Brunhilde is a begnadete person. He finds the ideas of Wotan, and he has the love from Sigmund. Sigmund is a hero in this piece, not Siegfried. And Sigmund has shown Brunhilde what is love, and Wotan has shown what is the God idea for the manship. And she has a vision, a big vision, but Siegfried has learned by Mime, and is a nature man, the first man in the world, I think. And the first what he do, Mime cannot do it, he makes a sword. And for what you need a sword? For killing. It is the first man and the first killer. He disturbed the world. And the grandfather, Wotan, has beginning with this. He has taken a spear from the Weltesche, and the tree is going down, the nature is broken. I tell it with the Rhine, with the water of the Rhine. He broke from the Ufer,
from the horizon of the
one stick, and the water fly out, and the blood from the brother board come in the last scene.
Fratricide.
And the accordion, the music from Loge, he makes a rain. Frode makes a rainbow for the gods. Is a painter. Is a Leonardo da Vinci. Is a artist for music, and this music fell down in the blood of the first world. And in this performance, you have seen the performance. I know the following is not coming. The poetic story of the end of the Rheingold, that the music is swimming on the blood of the. You cannot understand why one following his sleeping. This is theater, but it was a mistake. Eventually, it was trotzdem gut.
He's describing the follow spot at Rheingold that, as happens in theater, as he says, there's a mistake that nonetheless is good, but that the follow spot should have lit the accordion at that moment, so you got the sense of what he was describing of the music of full. Speaking of light, I wanted to ask you, Achim, another sort of anecdote from Götterdämmerung in particular, and sorry for those of you that won't see it, but for Götterdämmerung we had a very limited amount of lighting time, and I think, Achim, you came up with a great solution to that, which was creating a light loop that gave a sense of the breadth of the entire opera over the course of the 6 hours. And what I really respected about this decision, not only how musical it felt, but also that it felt very conceptual, too. It felt related to the story as the story that is this loop of past, present, and future. And I think that's something that I really admire about what you did with this piece, is that every decision that was based on reality, or the conditions of the reality of the theater, nevertheless always had something very concrete to do with the material and with the ring.
And we have 3 or 4 things to lighting: the screen with the projections, the stage for the room, the elements hanging in the air and tell the story about the ring and the sword and the Tarnhelm and the splitting loge. And we all together has a loop. It's coming from red to green to blue, a light in different times. One time is 1 minute red and go to black, and from black go to green. The other is faster. And so we have a Zufallsgenerator.
It's a generation of chance.
And it mixed the screen with the elements, with the room, the color in many, many thousand combinations. You cannot do it. When you do it in the theater queue for queue, then you sit 2 weeks for lighting. But we have only what we have for 6 hours theater. We have 2 days light alone, and the other is with stage and with scenes. To do it very too small for this what Wagner wants. But we must do it good. And we want the result that we can show it the world for 3 performances. And that's the first.
I also wanted to ask about
the philosophical idea of the loop. You have not told.
Well, a little bit, I think.
Yes,
Do you want to say anything?
Okay, no.
Another particularly interesting moment during the process of this entire cycle was after Rheingold, which right after the dress rehearsal, Achim collected all of the singers together to describe his ideas of what he thought about Rheingold, and he was met with some feelings that people thought that they were acting in a sort of a puppet theater, or that they didn't quite understand how they related to the whole. And some of the singers then stuck with us all the way through Götterdämmerung. And in particular, one of the singers who was had the hardest time fitting into Achim's world suddenly connected so strongly with it that he became not just a fan, but almost like a pamphleteer, in the sense that Achim gave everybody a copy of this Kleist article about the Marionette Theater, a famous article about the Marionette Theater. And it's something that Achim and I have discussed a lot as a big inspiration. But this particular singer, who at first was really against the ideas of this ring, suddenly we saw him passing out this Kleist article to his new colleagues, which I thought was a fantastic transformation. It was like a metamorphosis, in a way, of the singer.
My first idea from theater in DDR was, I have told it, I want to use theater with trees, Baumstämme.
With trunks, tree trunks.
I have 5 trees, and trees are hanging or moved with not seeing persons, and the trees can more and more be a man and play a story and can love and can all what the man, I don't know, can the actor this what the tree can do. And then the people say, he had the man, he must come in the cage. And it was horrible for me for this idea. But what is it other is a marionette theater? We have a wood stick, and we have the fantasy, this is a pretty girl, and he can singing, and he can love, and he is a good fee, what you want. That is the creativest thing of the world. And when we have it in the professional big theater of opera too, a a little the feeling from the children, a little from the genie of the first years from the men. That is what we must find, become back. Picasso has waited the whole life of this inspiration that he can paint as a child, and it is not possible, but a little the wish to hold from this. I think it is important for us to begin each day new, to think why I am here, where I going, and what we are.
In the Kleist, one of the nice and really beautiful ideas in the Kleist is that something that's immaterial can then be the vessel for, that something very material can be the vessel for the immaterial. So something like a marionette can be exactly what inspires us to go to a metaphysical place. And I feel like that happens a lot in this ring. And I think that is related to the idea of the illusion that even though we see everything happening in this ring, and often the lights come up and we see exactly how all of the images are being created, we nevertheless fill in the gaps as an audience member.
I see ever pictures here. Yuval has done it. I don't know what it is, and I'm very irritated. My painting in details. I have seen this is a head of the giant in the eyes, standing person, and bring the head and play the eyes, the pupils with their own head in this. But it is irritated. I have forgotten you ask over.
It was more of a. This is the problem with multimedia. It does distract. Well, I wanted to just follow up with the idea from the Kleist about the material and versus material.
I remember. The biggest problem with the theater with singer and actors is that the singer has the illusion, so as in film or television, he are the person, what he must show. I say you are an artist, you are a sculpture maker, and you have a figure in the costume. You can go in this figure and you tell me the story and the sense and the intelligence of this poetic figure in this piece. You cannot, the words not from you, the melody what you sing, you have not found it. Wagner has done it for you. You can only sing and show me what this singing person is. And the more you have a distance to this, what you do, the better you can see what you do, and the better you have the control of this and can show for the public perfect the person. And the singers don't love that. He wants to be Siegfried. I am a hero. No, you are not a hero, you are a singer. No, I am, in this moment, I am Siegfried. And I say, you take the hill from Gunther and the head from Gunther, and you täuschen.
You switch
the Brünnhilde. No, that I don't do. I not switch. I do it never. I say the text says you. No, it is not a good character. I have a good character. I don't do it. It is very difficult, the identification with the person, to divide from the singer and the distance. We cannot tell that Gunther has Brünnhilde take in the night, bring it in the braut,
the wedding chamber.
Yes, and he has a he is their Bräutigam this night.
Groom,
That's the first night for Brunhilde. And Gunther waiting on the Rhine till in the morning, say Wagner, and then come the full Gunther, the falsche Gunther, Siegfried with Brunhilde,
the fake Gunther,
and changed in little moment the person, and then he come to Siegfried home. And when he tell the story, he say, I have nothing to do with Brunhilde. Gunther is the man from Brunhilde, and I give Gunther die Treue. Ich war Gunther die Treue.
Yeah.
And this is a schizophrenic situation in our time. We all want to be another. The identity from Siegfried he has lost in this moment when he drink the drink, and when all the new world for him is new, and new is ever beautiful. And this is a danger for our time, and that is the catastrophe of our time. That Siegfried lost the quality what he had, forgot the ideas of the goddaughter Brunhilde. She is coming to the man what then has kissed up the god from, and she is mortal, yeah. And she has veins and blood and can die. So as Jesus Christ, what you can find, and Siegfried has the same. Together with Brunhilde, the same idea of manship, but it is not to do when one man changed the identity. And this is a story. Yuval has asked me, why you coming from East German, and you are a scholar from West? Why is your theater not political theater? I think this is political. Each art, and when it is unpolitical in the also form,
from the outside form,
it is a politic act ever. And what I do, I mean, I do it pro and contra the society, exactly. And each people feel we are friends or not. That is the wish to speak together from the stage. Your mirror speak to you, and you ask with boo and bravo and all this, but this is not enough. Each moment we feel it is silent in the auditorium. Never, it's nothing. Then the theater is a discussion with the public. And this, I mean, must be each day. And film cannot do it, and television, no. It can do, but they don't do it.
Very rarely does that do that. We have to wrap up, but one last comment that I just want to make is some of the pictures you saw were from from the Ace Gallery in Beverly Hills and on Wilshire Drive, where Achim has a show of a lot of his paintings. Many of them were painted during the process of creating the Ring Cycle. And there's my favorite painting of his, I'll tell you very quickly, is one that he called Brunhilde's Last Day. It's a triptych, 3 white canvases with 3 very strong red marks through it. And I see that painting and I find it very tragic, tragic in many ways, because I think of the end of Götterdämmerung. But what's beautiful about it is I see that painting and I see a little bit how Achim felt when he heard this music and prepared for this end of Götterdämmerung, and the stillness and the perfection in this painting. We do something very different on stage. It's quite a big, as I said, technical, spectacular event. But I loved that difference between the visual representation of the end of Götterdämmerung and what we do, and it made me think actually a little bit about what Achim says a lot about theater, that in theater everything is possible. It's one of my favorite quotes of his that I've, since kept very close in the back of my brain since working with him. And I think that's something that I hope that all of you will experience when you come see the performances over the course of the weekend.
I think the first ask I can complete the Gesamtkunstwerk. We have used it in this form that all is free. The music is to hear, better as in other productions. The words and the sense you can following and can understanding. The poetic of the piece is B and solo, and the pictures and the colors and the movement is an extra piece, and all together is a ring. But nichts ist doppelt.
Nothing is duplicated.
Duplicated. All is free, parallel to the going. So as our time in this moment in the whole world is all movement together, and that is the world, and we show the world of the ring. That is our world from the beginning to the end, and we have parallel all elements, all faculties going, and you can following in all dimensions, and that is the idea. In the painting, I hope my painting has music and has poetic. When we see Gesamtkunstwerk in this idea, then it is possible, but it is not multimedia.
Well, on that note, I know everyone has to go to other events, so Achim, thank you very much for this discussion.